Hello little gay people in my phone. Welcome back to another episode of I Told You So, but somehow people still believe otherwise. We're talking again about Kodomodachi, also known as Mirth, or whatever other username they decide to use once this video comes out. The allegations levied against them, claiming that they dated a 13-year-old at 18, and their subsequent admission of said claims, because even though they have responded to these claims in the past, acknowledged in private conversations with me that they were guilty, and admitted as much on public platforms, somehow, they think with their newest response video, they can move away from all of that and potentially clear their name again. But obviously, I'm not going to let this train wreck of a video go ignored. I'm going to look at it. But before I do dissect this video, I wanted to make one thing very clear. You should subscribe to this channel. As of recording this video, and before anyone else has released another video dissecting this response, this video is incredibly well received from Mirth. The video has a widely positive reception and acclaim, and the comments are mostly forgiving Mirth, saying they think Mirth did nothing wrong, or even in some cases defending what they did. That's obviously very concerning, and I'd like to use this video to highlight an example of how quickly people are willing to believe a side because they're the newest response on a situation. As soon as someone has the last word, people on the internet act as if that means their last word is actually the most important word, when it isn't. This response video is by no means in any capacity a good response, nor is it one that even acknowledges any of the evidence directed against them. If this video succeeds in doing its job, you'll hopefully understand by the end of it why that shouldn't be the case. Or at least, I really hope so. I'd like to believe the majority of my audience have reading comprehension skills beyond 5th grade. So before we wrap around into Mirth's video, for those of you who aren't caught up on the Mirth allegations and don't want to watch my previous videos on this situation, let's give you the quick rundown. Mirth, previously known as Kodomodachi, is a very successful animation YouTuber with almost 300,000 subscribers. They were known for creating Friday Night Funkin' mods, FNAF animations, and anything else you could really imagine in the animatic sphere. For quite a while even, it seemed like they were going to go very far when it came to content creation. They had a following triple my size, they had a genuine talent for art and animation, and it didn't seem like they were much of a controversial figure, so why would they ever suddenly get into a wide-scale controversy that ruined their entire career? They self-admittedly dated a 13-year-old at 18 years of age. They try and add more context to it, they try and justify it or give excuses for it, but ultimately, that is the long and short of it. So all the way back in May of 2021, I called them out for as much. Within said video, I explained that there was initially a Twitter thread talking about Kodomodachi that only received around 100 likes, at the point where Kodomodachi released a public response, bringing attention to all of this, and suddenly signal boosting these allegations into the stratosphere, bringing everyone and their mother into the conversation surrounding their actions and involvement with a minor. After that, tons of private Discord messages from Kodomodachi would be made public. Messages of Kodomodachi saying, "So what?" in response to someone calling them out for dating a child, saying that it was effectively okay for them to do as much, and even going as far as to explain that what they're doing is completely okay, saying that it's not illegal to date without sexual activity. I take the full responsibility and delicacy to help this child develop in real life, like a big sister or parent, along with his parents. But if his parents aren't being a good example, I will be. And I'll make him learn that a healthy relationship is a good friendship. This is a major red flag, as it's a very common behavioral technique used by a lot of people who are willing to take advantage of children. They attempt to approach them as family, as someone who's going to be there and look after them. They're someone you can trust. And ultimately, I think this all boils down to blatant manipulation on Kodomodachi's behalf. Unsurprisingly, the majority of people didn't side with Kodomodachi, and so as Kodomodachi continued to receive backlash, she posted in her Discord server, "At everyone, I am disappointed in every single one of you." And I mean it. The server will be officially deleted because I didn't wish for it to be this toxic. This isn't a server anymore. I don't think I could describe a statement more ironic than "I am disappointed in every single one of you" from the person who confessed to dating a 13-year-old at 18, but irregardless, let's continue on. As tension rose surrounding Kodomodachi's actions as they continued to receive backlash, Kodomodachi realized they needed to make a public response. Place your guesses below as to what you think they did. If you guessed lie about it all, you would shockingly, I know, be correct. Kodomodachi would explain that as a Brazilian who is still learning English, they didn't really know what actually meant until today. And then they felt rather disgusted and uncomfortable, saying that they made a mistake, and then going as far as to take the more high ground and people calling them out, saying that those people were the ones in the wrong in all of this. Come on guys, Kodo just made a mistake. What you guys are doing, calling them out for it, repeating what they did over and over, that's so much worse. And so you may be asking yourself, if you've never seen my previous video, how do I know Kodo is lying here? Well, because she told me as much. In shocking contrast to Kodo's community post where they said they confused this relationship with wanting to be brother and sister with the person, Kodo would say in response to the question, "Did you know beforehand that dating a minor was wrong? Harls, can I be completely honest? I knew it was wrong, but not the consequences." I would then continue the discussion on by stating, "So you were aware of how wrong your behavior was?" And Kodo would respond, "Yeah." So Kodo, when you said to me in those DMs back then, "I guess this is my fate, isn't it?" Yeah, I think you were right. This is your fate. You dug this grave for yourself, and I have no sympathy for you. And I think with that, I've done all the prep work I need to do before presenting to you Mirth's dogshit response video to all of this. But if you would like more information, go watch my previous videos, there is more in there. Or you could check out Turkey Tom's The Friday Night Funkin' Degenerates video, which goes over this situation as well. That being said, it's time to dive headfirst into a sewage drain and wade through a lot of shit.
2 long years ago, a controversy happened. The allegations, the evidences, everything in theory, I acknowledge them. But are they all 100% true? I believe you know my answer, and it's no.
Just getting the low-hanging fruit out of the way, yes, that TF2 gameplay is that laggy, yes, it's like that the entire way through their original video, and no, I won't spare you the misery of watching it. If I had to, you do as well.
I will not apologize for something I haven't done, therefore no channel that addressed my situation has my full respect.
They then immediately go for the moral grandstanding as if they have any pillar to stand on. Alongside the fact they blatantly backtrack from their previous responses here and say they are not going to apologize for something they haven't done.
I'm sorry, but you content creators failed to impress me. Yes, I accepted the abundance of criticism I have received ever since it happened, and I made the best use of it. What I learned from everything is, don't go near problematic kids or adults.
They then actively blame the victim and downplay the response to their actions to just criticism directed towards them.
Now, you wonder why the moral of the story ended this way for me? It's pretty much simple. Back then, when the entirety of the controversy started, I was not stable, nor had a stable community with stable friends.
Ah, the good old "I was in a dark place" excuse. Never heard that one before.
Now that you have this in mind, allow me to speak about this certain kid who emailed me one time. This kid was in my emails asking me to be his girlfriend, and practically asking to be groomed.
If this isn't ranking at the top of the top 10 list of things you should never say, I don't know what is.
Of course, as a sane person, I refused and sent the entire B-movie script to him. Come on, it's funny.
I feel I need to ask how genuinely unself-aware you need to be to laugh and make jokes in a video talking about how you took advantage of a 13-year-old by dating them at 18. Treat the situation with the respect and seriousness it deserves.
So, I thought things were done there, but he still went through my emails messaging me that he would kill himself. He was going to kill himself because I didn't want to be his friend nor girlfriend and groom him. In the end though, he didn't kill himself. He just straight up tried to manipulate me by threatening suicide. Do you see how kids can be absolutely stupid and how they can manipulate even a young adult? Dads and moms, if you're seeing this, make sure you're not raising a harasser. I don't care if it's a minor, it's still wrong.
The moral grandstanding in this video is so hard to watch, my god.
Anyway, what occurred in my controversy was similar. I felt obligated to do the stupidest choice I ever made while being unstable 2 years ago. Give company to a kid under a platonic celibate relationship so he wouldn't kill or harm himself.
Guys, please, you've got to view it in black and white. I only had 2 options. It was either date the kid or he would take his life. What else could I have possibly done, guys? Except nobody believes this, nor do they think this is the right decision to make in this situation. This is never how you framed this situation, nor does it align with any of the evidence, nor would it clear you of guilt regardless. I mean, I haven't even mentioned in this video so far that they did this before. This isn't even the first time they've dated a 13-year-old. When Kodo was 17, they were a part of the Ace Attorney community. And you'll never guess what they did while as part of that community. Well, crazily enough, she tried to spin a similar story to what she's trying to tell right now. That there was this kid in the community who kept following them, saying they loved her. and she felt uncomfortable. However, according to the testimony of people surrounding Kodo at the time they were in this Ace Attorney community, a lot of Kodo's friends, around 7 people, knew that Kodo was dating a 13-year-old. And they even claimed Kodo said back then that she said that as long as nothing sexual happened, she could date a 13-year-old boy. According to these allegations, this is a pattern of behavior. So I don't get why Kodo would completely ignore this new allegation within their video and try and spin the narrative they do. Maybe it's because they know that there are screenshots out there of them discussing in Discord servers that they were in this relationship, which doesn't look very good for them, and they know they probably can't respond to it, or what. But regardless, it's very concerning.
His suicidal behavior were empty threats. But at the time I thought, if I don't do something, this kid's going to kill himself at this rate and everyone's going to blame me for killing a child. I was so desperate to save someone's life, and my entire career crashing down didn't come to my mind at that time.
What a pitiful defense. Genuinely a ridiculous excuse from the person who said they knew it was wrong when they started dating this minor. They confirmed as much to me. They're just contradicting their own testimony and hoping no one remembers.
People were pissed off and enraged with my actions, and I do not blame them. But at the time, nobody was really allowing me to explain myself properly or even question me properly. Not even the people around me. I felt afraid that if I mentioned anything about the kid threatening suicide, nobody would believe it. So I took accountability for a story that never really happened. But now I'm taking accountability with courage enough to tell what really happened, and nothing is going to change what I've said.
I'm not even going to respond to such a ridiculous assertion. I'm sure you guys can understand why this statement is so ridiculous.
I was 18, and even being an 18-year-old, that doesn't mean I'm an adult with a fully adult mindset.
Are we seriously using the 18-year-old child argument here? You have got to be f***ing joking. I expected better than this.
I can tell you for sure that most 18-year-olds aren't as mature as they think they are, and you only fully develop yourself after your 20s.
And I can tell you, Kodo, that as an 18-year-old myself, I don't feel a need to date 13-year-olds. I know, what a shock or something. This person is so dumb.
I'm 20 now, so I know better. It took a while, but the video is here, and that's what matters.
Guys, I'm 20 now. I know better. Come on, guys. I've changed. Except they continue to defend their actions to this day with this video and clearly haven't changed. They still don't see anything wrong with their actions.
What I have done didn't come close to a crime, but more as a mistake that I felt like I couldn't avoid. And to answer an obvious question, I have no interest in children. I am straight and I like men. And I love to have a man like Leon Kennedy in my life. Don't question me for liking Leon, okay? He's one of the men that can make other men question if they're straight. Being called out was great. But that doesn't mean I'm not genuinely pissed by the hypocrisy and blatant rudeness of some who try to address it in the sickest way possible while over-exaggerating everything. I am certain that some of you went to my channel expecting a monster, but in the end got someone behaving like a normal person should.
I mean, I wouldn't personally describe an 18-year-old dating a 13-year-old as a thing all normal people do, but what would I know? Clearly Mirth is the most educated on normal people, right?
Since we're talking about hypocrites, here, I can name just a few of them.
I'd like to give a warm welcome back to the channel to all the people from the Prisonmate Luke drama, who are probably by this point sick of me bringing up the two-quote fallacy. But it would appear I need to bring it up one more time. The two-quote fallacy is a technique that intends to discredit the opponent's argument in a debate by attacking their own personal behavior and actions as inconsistent with their argument, therefore accusing hypocrisy. It's an ad hominem attack, a character attack, doesn't work, and it only serves to try and make yourself look better by making your opponent look worse. But regardless, let's let her cook. I'm sure she can't say anything that bad.
HarleyTBS.
It's so cute. That's the most cute fan art I've ever seen. Aw, I'm sure they couldn't possibly say anything that bad about me now.
One of the main people who addressed my situation had defended Lollipop just talking the video for 12 minutes.
I cannot tell you the way I burst out in tears laughing when I got to this segment in the video while watching it with Oranges and Toastify. How many times has this argument been brought up against me now, and yet not once has it ever worked? As I have to say every time this point is brought up, around 4 years ago when I was around 14 years of age, I made a video about lolly. It was a bad video where I expressed a bad take without doing the research. I don't agree with what I said within the video. I deleted it a few hours after I uploaded it. I was obviously impulsive, jumped on a subject, and made a bad take. I've never denied that. I've never stood by this video, and I've never defended lolly. I think that should be clear by the type of videos I've made on this channel. This was a point regurgitated from Prison Mayor Luke's original video on me, which even he doesn't stand by and denounce, because it's a bad argument against me. It's a character attack for the sake of it for a bad video I made that I've never denied. Anyone who has to go this far back to dig up a video I made as a kid when I was holding a microphone that had a sock on it and I looked like this is desperate and grasping at straws. Is it really that much of a surprise that a 14-year-old had a bad take about something? I'm not surprised though, on the other hand, that Kodomodachi is really interested in the things I said when I was 14, considering how close I was in age to their self-admitted victims.
Trust me, I watched the deleted video entirely and I lost brain cells.
So what I'm getting from this is that they're okay with dating real children, but fictional children are where they draw the line. Unfortunately for Mirth, it's quite easy for me to sit here and say, I think both are bad and neither should be in your dating pool, but Mirth would sadly not be able to stand by the same sentiment, which ultimately leads to their statement falling on deaf ears.
I can confirm that Harley still watches lolly-related content to this day.
Oh really? I would love to see some proof of that, except you provide none because it isn't true. They are choosing to make up information to present false arguments within their video to make me look as bad as possible so that they can win over the argument somehow, and hopefully the public favor will sway to their side. Except it won't. This isn't true, you don't present evidence for it, and once again, you're throwing stones in a glass house.
Just make sure when he reaches his 20s, he doesn't become a complete weirdo.
Ironic.
Turkey Tom. He has a pretty inaccurate way of addressing scandals, doesn't know how to let certain situations rest, and he was once racist and allowed anti-Semitic content in his channel in a single video before. Not sure if he still is openly racist, but he can be very immature with taking criticism. Here's a video about his immaturity, despite being a bit old now. I hope he's insecure about himself as he was before, because shielding himself from criticism by criticizing others seems like the perfect idea to make everyone overlook his problems.
Shielding himself from criticism by criticizing others seems like the perfect idea to make everyone overlook his problems.
I do not get how they could genuinely say this statement within their video with zero self-awareness. They are actively criticizing other people to help them get away from acknowledging their own faults, as they call out someone for criticizing other people to get away from acknowledging their faults. I feel like I'm being trolled. There is no way a real human being wrote this, recorded it, edited it, and uploaded it, and didn't at any point in that entire production process realize how embarrassingly stupid this sounds and how bad it reflects on them. This is what they are doing. They are calling themselves out in their own video without realizing it for criticizing other people to negate criticism directed towards them, to make themselves look better by proxy and try and clear themselves of guilt from their own actions. Embarrassing.
Toastify. Oh boy. Toastify unstated a girl who supported pedophilia and zoo while being in a cult about it. Her name was Watermelon the Cat. On his video on me, filled with opinions and evidences twisted in his favor, went viral. He decided to cut off contact with her. Mind you, his ex was exposed before, yet he didn't seem to pay any mind of her being exposed. This is an assumption, but I don't think a guy like him who's so against would have overlooked this. People can find stuff about you quickly if possible, and information spreads easily. It's why I know this.
Firstly, this is a guilt by association argument which fundamentally doesn't work, and you're presuming his intent and his understanding of the situation within the video. Secondly, I reached out to Toastify and he provided me this screenshot. Within said screenshot, you can see the following. 1. Toastify finds out about said situation. 2. Toastify approaches Watermelon the Cat about said situation. And 3. Toastify cuts off Watermelon the Cat for said situation. At no point does anything he did reflect how it's framed in Mirth's video, because Mirth is lying. She's just misrepresenting people in her video as much as possible so that she can paint the narrative she wants to paint. It's downright disgraceful.
Your entire take on me is nothing but a failure, and it's pretty much what I expect from someone coming from Britain. Imperialism is failing, and you know it.
Dude, I'm done. This video is awful. It has no redeemable merits. It's very clear by this point in my video how bad it is, how unwilling they are to admit fault, and how much they're just blatantly lying at this point to discredit critics. It's embarrassing. If you're new to the channel, you always know you can click that subscribe button down below. I would appreciate it. Helps me grow the channel, and if you click the notification bell next to it, you mean to get notified whenever I upload a video, which is more frequently than it used to be. You can check out my Twitter, Discord, and other social media linked in the description down below, and if you'd like to support these videos financially, even $1 helps on Patreon down below. With that being said, I thank you for watching another video on my channel. I'll see you next time, and Mirth, GG.
Hit the weed, calm down, ayy. Have you ever been to Six Flags? Well, this shit like a roller coaster. You only wanna ride if you knock a door, ayy. Cause I ain't holdable. I know that you a fan, or you hold the post. We all got a plan till we're overdosing. Up and down, another round, I don't wanna see you drown. Ah, why I get the attitude? You done chose me, already had it do. I could show you a good night or two. All these questions got me feeling like I'm on the view. Hey, shouldn't get your feet wet. I'm the type to eat flesh, I ain't singing Keith Sweat. Take a tape and eject. I just get in the way. 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 You say I'm a piece of shit, but I'ma still give you good dick. You say I'm a piece of shit, but I'ma still give you good dick. You say I'm a piece of shit, but I'ma still give you good dick. You say I'm a piece of shit, I'ma still give you good dick. Met a lover at a bar, right? Shooting star, right? Wine getting night rolls, just another short car ride, full of long nights. One thing I know, you can only throw a rock so far, right? Skipping like stone.